any of you ever heard the phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me?
Yeah.
If any of you have, then in my opinion, this quote means that whoever told it to us, our parents or grandparents, meant to say that words aren't really things that can change our lives forever. But to me, that's actually a big lie. Words are actually very powerful, and if we or someone else uses them the wrong way, we could seriously damage someone's life. Now, usually when we hear this quote, there's a specific person that's bothering us. Now, you might be thinking siblings, but actually that's just natural from personal experience. I'm talking about bullies. Bullies are people that like to harm other people, either to get attention or to make themselves feel better about something or themselves. But bullies actually possess a very dangerous power, because not only do they affect the person that they're bullying, but the environment around them. So let's start with victims. Victims actually have a great loss of education. They have lower attendance and completion rates. They tend to feel lonely, weak, isolated, and that they can't really trust anyone anymore. But sadly, that's only part of it. Bystanders can also feel a great loss of education. And both bystanders and victims can both have an increase in mental health, anxiety, depression, and if the situation is really bad and mostly rare, some might have an increase in drugs and suicidal thoughts. Bystanders usually feel guilty for not stepping up, so they become reluctant to come to school. Well, I had a friend once, but this goes way back. I actually had a hard time remembering this. I had a friend, and we both usually did everything together. We fought a lot, like all friends do. But then she came to me one day, and she looked really sad. And when I asked her what's wrong, she said, I just saw my sister being pushed around by some third grader. We were younger than third grade, so we were actually pretty scared of them. So then she still looked depressed, so I tried to cheer her up, but nothing really could. So she came back the next day, and she wasn't in her usual spot where we usually meet before school. When I went looking for her, I saw her next to her sister in front of that bully, kind of talking to the bully. And then when she came back, she pulled her sister away and came. And she looked happier than ever. When I asked why, she said, I pushed down the bully, and now I feel good. So, coming from a little kid, that's actually a lot, because little kids actually have a hard time building their self-confidence in front of bullies. Now, schools can actually also have some damage as well. They become disrespected and disliked, and their students feel unsafe in their school, because 1 in 4 teachers don't really have a problem with bullying. So students can't really be open to the staff. But luckily, everyone has a part to making this situation stop. Schools, you can start by teaching your students specifically what bullying is. Address behaviors, and you can even reward some good behaviors. Monitor the hotspots on your school grounds and separate kids that are already in a fight or don't get along. And always make sure that your students know that they could be open to you and your staff. Parents, you also have a part in this. You can keep track of signs that your child isn't being targeted by a bully. These kids usually have difficulty sleeping, they dislike school, they get constant headaches, and they talk about harming themselves. Now, kids, which most of you are, you might be sitting there wondering, well, what can we do? Because I basically already told the parents what they can do. But you actually have a big part too, because you can't just expect students and parents to be watching out for your school, going with you to school to see if anything is wrong, because you basically have all the eyes at school, and you might see things that other people might not. So I want to teach you the difference between tattletaling and telling. Tattletaling is basically when you tell someone something that someone did just to get them in trouble. But telling is when you're addressing an issue. So I want to say, don't be afraid to tell someone, even if it makes you uncomfortable, when something's wrong. Thank you.